There are so many really long videos online about how to smoke your meat, so I'm going to try and break it down for you as quick as possible. Hi there guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make smoked ribs, but without a smoker. We're just going to be using this. Okay, so to start, you want to just start a fire in one side with some coals, however you normally would, like a barbecue, but just keep it to one side. In the other side, while we're heating up the barbecue, we're going to put a bowl of water. This will help keep everything nice and moist during the actual smoking process. I'm going to shut the lid, and I'm lucky enough to have a thermometer on here, so it's actually quite simple. You can actually see smoking, barbecue roasting, and then way too hot. So you want to keep it in the smoking temperature, about 130 degrees. The next thing you're going to want to do is soak your wood. Wet wood creates more smoke, gives us a better smoke. This is some apple wood. We're just going to leave it in a bowl of water just to soak through while we're heating up the rest. And this is also something good that you could have. We're going to put it in here, and this thing has got holes over the top, so when you put it on there, put it on the fire, it'll just gently let the smoke go. Now it's time to make the marinade for the pork ribs. So you could just get something like a barbecue seasoning, but it's so easy to make at home. So we're gonna go in, garlic powder, some onion powder, a good amount of paprika, some brown sugar, some salt, black pepper, and I'm gonna put this in. This is Tajin. You should be able to get it in the Mexican section of your grocery store. It's literally dried red chilies, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of lime, all together in one big powder, and it's incredible. Like, it's such an umami flavor, it's really, really good. If you don't have this, you can just use any dried chilies that you can find in your local supermarket. We're gonna go in with a good amount. And then when it gets stuck in with your fingers, give it a good mix around. And then just taste it. It was really, really good. Now we're just going to cover it, and as it's called a dry rub, we just rub all the way across. Make sure you try and get in every gap, turn it over. You can leave this on for up to 24 hours if you want. It'll really intensify the flavour, or you can just put it straight on the smoker as soon as you put it on. Alright, as you can see, this is nicely above temperature, which is what you want before you start smoking, because you're going to lose a lot of temperature soon. So you want to get it up high, get the smoking started, and then it'll start dropping. You can see the charcoal is still burning, but it's very hot. Perfect time to start putting our smoke on. This is when you grab your little metal box thingy, you get your wet wood, and just lay it on the bottom. And we'll leave some more wood in there for later on, because this is going to be a long process. Then you just stick it on top like that. We're going to wait for it to start smoking. So once you got it back up to temperature again, with the lid down, and it's slowly started to smoke, you start placing on your ribs. You want to keep them all to one side. Try not to overlap them too much, but obviously depending on the space of your grill, you might need to. We're going to do some rearranging and making sure we're keeping an eye on this, make sure it's cooking evenly. Don't forget all that extra seasoning as well. Just rub it over, and then we'll just shut it down. Try to resist opening it again until it starts smoking properly over the top. Then you can check. Now it's all about regulating the temperature between 130 and 150 degrees. Like 250 and 300 in Fahrenheit. I don't know. And maintain that temperature for about 3 hours or until we get a nice crust over the ribs. This is what you want to see, a nice amount of smoke coming out from all over the place. Okay, sometimes the meat might get really, really dry, but you can either use like a spray bottle to spray some water all over the meat to keep it nice and moist, or simply just get a brush and just run over the bits. They might be getting a little bit too dry. This will just moisten everything back up again. Now it's time to just have a quick wood change, so just empty out the scraps you've got inside and then place some fresh ones in, make sure it starts smoking again and close it down. Now we're going to make a really simple barbecue sauce. So into a pan, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of paprika and black pepper. Put a dash of apple cider vinegar, a handful of brown sugar, some tomato ketchup. Then add a touch of Worcestershire sauce. And you can get this in specialty stores, sometimes in supermarkets. It's liquid smoke. This really adds a beautiful flavour to the barbecue. We're going to add just a couple of drops because this stuff is very strong. We're also going to add a touch of freshly squeezed pineapple juice. With that, mix around. We're going to bring this to a simmer, but don't let it boil. We want to heat it to let all the flavours infuse amongst itself. And I'm not gonna lie, having a smoker does make everything a little bit easier, but it is definitely possible to use any kind of barbecue grill as long as you don't put the meat directly over the flame. And yes, it is a long process, it does take a long time. You do have to keep an eye on it, make sure that smoke is constant, the heat is at a good temperature, and you should take overall about 5 hours. Okay, so once you get it to this state where it's got a really nice bark forming on the outside of it, and you can see that's really nice and moist as well on the inside, we're going to want to stop the smoking process. It's been smoking for about 2 hours now. We need to wrap it in tin foil. Then we try and keep the temperature at about 160 degrees for about 2 hours to 3 hours depending. We're going to keep checking until we get the perfect tenderness of the meat. You're going to want to leave these to the side, let them rest for at least an hour while we start cooking everything else that we're going to have with the actual ribs. Okay, so when you're starting to get ready, you want to be pasting that beautiful barbecue sauce we made earlier on all over. And then we're going to place them back on the grill at a slightly higher temperature just to get a final cook, to get all that barbecue nice and caramelized. Then you should have something that kind of looks like this, and when you cut it in half and you pull a bit out, you can see how juicy the meat is around the bone. Absolutely incredible. I could have cooked this for another hour, to be honest, to make it even more tender, but it was absolutely amazing flavour and we could not stop eating these. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one, and remember to just keep cooking.